Have you ever stared at the ceiling at 2 a.m., wide awake, wondering why your life feels like it's falling apart? Or sat in your car after a draining day, exhausted, asking yourself how much longer you can keep pretending you're fine? We live in a culture that tells us to run from pain, run from failure, run from our emotions. But here's the truth. The very moments we fear the most, loss, heartbreak, loneliness, are the ones that shape us into who we were meant to become. The Stoics never promised life would be easy. Marcus Aurelius wrote his meditations not in times of peace, but while facing plagues, loss, and betrayal. Seneca spoke of calm not from a mansion, but in exile, staring at death. And Epictetus, once a crippled slave, didn't teach philosophy as a hobby. It was his lifeline to survive despair. Today, I want to share with you 6 brutal Stoic truths. They may sting, they may even bring you to tears. But if you're brave enough to face them, they will unlock a freedom inside you that nothing can ever take away. So, if that resonates, stay with me and join our community here at the Stoic Habit by subscribing, because together we don't run from life's hardships, we use them to rise. Truth number 1. The treasure hidden in your worst day. Every single one of us has that day, the day everything collapses. Maybe it's the phone call you never wanted to receive, telling you a loved one is gone. Maybe it's the morning you walk into work only to be told your position is no longer needed. Or maybe it's the silent realization, staring at yourself in the mirror, that the life you've been clinging to is crumbling in your hands. I remember a close friend of mine who lived this reality. For over a decade, he poured his heart and soul into building his company. Long nights, early mornings, sacrifice after sacrifice. Then, almost overnight, it was gone. Bankruptcy. Everything he had built, every ounce of certainty he thought he had, vanished. He told me later that evening, sitting in his car in the dark, "I feel like I died today." He wept not like the man who had built an empire, but like the boy who had just lost his world. And yet, years later, he looked back on that day with gratitude, because in losing everything, he was forced to confront himself without the armor of titles, money, or reputation. Stripped bare, he finally had the courage to build a life aligned with who he truly was. He told me, "That day destroyed me, but it also set me free." The Stoic philosopher Epictetus, once a slave whose own master shattered his leg, put it simply, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Life is ruthless. It doesn't ask permission before it rips something from you. But your worst day is not there to annihilate you, it's there to reveal you. It tears off the mask, exposing the core of your strength you didn't know was there. Think of the people you admire most, the stories that inspire you. None of them lived a life untouched by pain. They all stood on the edge of the abyss. What separates them from the rest is not that they avoided suffering, but that they chose to learn from it. They became students of adversity, not its prisoners. So remember this, your worst day is not the final page. It's the prologue to a new chapter. The day that feels like an ending is often the very beginning of the life you were meant to live. Truth number 2. Sensitivity is strength, not weakness. At some point in your life, someone has probably told you, "You're too sensitive, you're too emotional, toughen up." And maybe, for a while, you believed them. Maybe you started apologizing for your feelings, hiding them, locking them away as if they were flaws. But let me tell you this, if sensitivity were weakness, then Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic minds in history, would not have written letters so raw, so full of emotion, that readers still cry when they read them 2,000 years later. If a Stoic philosopher could shed tears, why should you believe that yours make you weak? Sensitivity is not a burden, it is a rare gift. It's the ability to notice what others overlook, to feel what others ignore. It's why a song can move you to tears while someone else shrugs. It's why a sunset can stir your soul when others walk by without a glance. It's why you can sense another person's pain before they've spoken a word. That's not fragility, that's awareness, that's power. The difference is this: the Stoics never denied their emotions, but they refused to be ruled by them. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, "Emotions may shake me, but they cannot decide my actions." Stoicism teaches us not to suppress our feelings, but to place them in their rightful place as signals, not dictators. Think of it this way: your emotions are like the wind. You can't control when they blow or how strong they are, but you can learn to sail with them, to use their force without letting them capsize your ship. So if you've ever cried in silence, if you've ever trembled because you cared too deeply, stop apologizing. That vulnerability is not the sign of a fragile heart. It is the mark of a human heart that is fully alive. The world doesn't need more people who are numb, indifferent, or hardened. It needs more people who can feel, who can empathize, who can turn their pain into compassion and their sensitivity into wisdom. Your sensitivity isn't your downfall, it's your superpower. Don't bury it, wield it. Because when you do, you'll discover that the very thing you thought made you too weak is exactly what makes you unstoppable. Truth number 3: losing it all can lead you back to yourself. There comes a moment in life when something you thought you could never live without is stripped away. Maybe it's the relationship you believed would last forever. Maybe it's the career that defined your identity. Maybe it's the dream you carried since childhood. And when it's gone, you feel hollow, as if you've been erased. I once knew a man who invested years of his life into a marriage he thought was unshakable. Then, one day, it ended suddenly, brutally. He told me, "I don't even know who I am without her." For months, he wandered in a fog of grief. But slowly, painfully, he began to realize something extraordinary. Beneath the titles of husband and provider, there was still a self raw, unpolished, but real. The man he rediscovered in that season was stronger, freer, and more authentic than the one he had been while clinging to what he lost. Marcus Aurelius understood this deeply. He wrote, "Loss is nothing else but change, and change is nature's delight." The Emperor of Rome didn't write those words from comfort. He wrote them after burying children, facing betrayals, and watching his empire weaken. He knew that loss doesn't destroy us. It clears space for something truer to emerge. Think of a tree in winter. To the outside world, it looks dead, bare branches, lifeless, stripped. But beneath the surface, life is gathering, roots are deepening, and strength is being stored for spring. That's what loss does for us. It may strip us of what we thought defined us, but in the emptiness, it prepares us to bloom again, stronger, deeper, wiser. Here's the secret. When you lose everything, you gain the chance to rebuild on solid ground. Rock bottom may feel like the end, but it's actually the beginning of freedom. When there's nothing left to cling to, you're free to ask, "Who am I now? What do I want to create from here?" So if you're in that season surrounded by empty boxes, broken dreams, or silence where laughter used to be, don't mistake it for death. It's rebirth. The person you're becoming is not weaker for the loss, but stronger because of it. Losing it all isn't the end of your story. It's the beginning of the chapter where you finally meet yourself. Truth number 4: the unexpected gift in dreams that don't come true. Some of the deepest heartbreaks in life aren't caused by losing what we had, but by losing what never became real. The business that never took off. The relationship that ended before it reached the future you imagined. The career that collapsed just as you thought you were about to make it. When those dreams shatter, the pain can be brutal. You replay the choices in your mind. Maybe if I had worked harder, maybe if I had been smarter, maybe then it would have worked. It feels like failure carved its name into your story. But what if broken dreams aren't failures at all? What if they're redirections? Epictetus, the former slave who became one of Stoicism's greatest teachers, said, "Do not seek for things to happen as you wish, but wish for things to happen as they do, and your life will go smoothly." He wasn't telling us to stop trying. He was reminding us that our obsession with a single outcome often blinds us to opportunities far greater than we could imagine. I once knew a woman who spent years training to be a professional athlete. Every ounce of her identity was tied to that goal. Then, one injury ended it all. For months, she grieved not just the sport, but the version of herself she thought she was. And yet, that loss redirected her to coaching. Today, she's impacted more lives than she ever could have by competing. She discovered that the dream ending wasn't a curse. It was a calling in disguise. The truth is, dreams that don't come true prepare us in ways we rarely see at the time. They build skills, resilience, connections, and wisdom that become the foundation for something new. The failure was never wasted. It was training. Think of a river meeting a rock. It doesn't stop. It doesn't call itself a failure. It simply carves a new path. And that path often becomes more beautiful than the one it originally intended. So, if you're mourning a dream that fell apart, don't let the grief convince you your story is over. What feels like an ending could be the seed of a destiny bigger than the dream you thought you wanted. Broken dreams don't mean you're finished. They mean life is guiding you toward the dream you were truly made for. Truth number 5. The sacredness hidden in your struggles. We live in a culture that treats struggle like a disease to be eliminated. Feel anxious? Take a pill. Feel lonely? Scroll your phone. Feel pain? Distract yourself until it fades. But the Stoics saw something different. To them, struggle wasn't a flaw in life's design. It was part of the design. It wasn't a punishment to escape, but a teacher to embrace. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together." He wasn't saying life is easy. He was reminding us that every hardship is hand-delivered with meaning, even if that meaning takes years to reveal itself. I once sat with a friend going through a divorce after 20 years of marriage. She kept apologizing for her tears, whispering, "I should be stronger than this." But here's the truth. Her tears weren't weakness, they were proof of her humanity. They were the sacred evidence that she had loved deeply, and that love was shaping her into someone capable of even greater compassion. Your anxiety? It's teaching you empathy for others who battle invisible wars. Your grief? It's stretching your capacity to love beyond what you thought possible. Your failures? They're training your resilience in ways no classroom ever could. Every person who left a mark on this world carried scars. Artists, leaders, healers, innovators, all of them walked through fire. Their struggle wasn't their disqualification, it was their credential. That's the paradox. Struggle sanctifies. It doesn't just hurt you, it transforms you. It can harden your heart, yes, but if you choose, it can also break it open. It can turn bitterness into wisdom, fear into courage, and wounds into sources of healing. When you're in the middle of it, it feels like chaos. But one day, you'll look back and realize the very battles that nearly broke you were the ones that gave you the depth, the strength, and the clarity you now carry. Your struggle is not a curse. It's sacred. It's the sculptor's hand, chiseling away everything false until only your truest self remains. Truth number 6. The bravery it takes to begin again. There comes a point in every life when you realize it's time to begin again. Not because you've failed, and not because you've given up, but because the life you built no longer fits the person you've become. Starting over at 25 feels like an adventure. At 35, it feels intimidating. At 45 or 50, it can feel almost impossible. By then you've invested years, built routines, and convinced yourself you can't change course. But the truth is, you can. And the courage it takes to begin again is one of the greatest acts of strength a human being can ever display. Seneca, who lost wealth, status, and eventually his life, once wrote, "Life is long if you know how to use it." His point wasn't that we need more years. It was that we need to live more fully, even if it means letting go of what feels safe to step into what feels uncertain. I once met a woman in her early 50s who walked away from a high-paying career in law to become a teacher. People thought she was crazy. Why throw away security for uncertainty, they asked. But she told me, for the first time in decades, I wake up excited. I feel alive again. That's what starting over does. It doesn't erase your past, it folds it in. Every failure, every skill, every scar becomes part of the foundation for the new life you're building. Beginning again isn't about starting from zero. It's about starting from experience. Yes, it's terrifying. Yes, others may not understand, but there is something far scarier. Reaching the end of your life and realizing you never had the courage to live the life you truly wanted. The bravery it takes to begin again is the bravery to trust yourself more than the opinions of others. It's choosing growth over comfort, authenticity over approval, and possibility over predictability. So, if you're standing at that crossroads, wondering whether to leap, let this be your reminder. Starting over isn't quitting, it's evolving. And sometimes the bravest thing you can do is to close the chapter you've outgrown and write the one your soul has been waiting for. Conclusion. A promise to yourself. So now you've seen it. All 6 brutal Stoic truths share one thing in common. They aren't easy. They sting, they bring tears, and they cut deep. But those very tears are not signs of weakness. They're signs of cleansing, of growth, of a soul being reshaped. Your worst day, your deepest emotions, your losses, your failures, your struggles, your rebirths, none of these mean you're broken. They mean you're opening. They mean you're being refined into someone stronger, wiser, and more authentic. Epictetus once reminded us, we do not choose our role in life's play, only how well we perform it. And that is your power. You may not control the script, but you do control the courage you bring to the stage. So if this message resonated, take one small but powerful step. Hit the like button not for me, but as a vow to yourself that you're choosing growth over comfort. Subscribe and join this community of people who don't run from pain, but transform it into strength. And in the comments, write this promise to yourself. I am not broken. I am breaking open.